might be transitioning more into a wind event. And we also have another severe thunderstorm warning that just popped up. I think that's over Trimble County, just south of Madison.
Yes, that's until 11:15 p.m. as well.
Okay, so we have another severe thunderstorm warning until 11:15, and I'm assuming that is for some hail potential, quarter-size hail that we're seeing around town.
60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and a quarter-sized hail.
Okay.
You've also been talking about that line weakening. I want to bring your attention back here near, this is outside of our viewing area, but between Evansville and Skelton. If you put that into motion, you can see how those deep shades of red and orange have really started to fade a little bit. But really keep an eye on some of the more ice storms that are ahead of that main line. Regardless, they're up there near Orange County, Du Bois County, Potomac area, French Lake. You're seeing some very heavy rain falling, and they haven't extended that tornado warning yet. If they were going to do it, probably would have done it by now. So hopefully they'll let that expire. Let me just look in the chat so far.
Yeah, I'm looking at the chat too. No update on it. No update on it. But let's go ahead and take another live view over at French Lick where you were just looking at that radar. Here's a live view of it. You can see the buildings getting lit up, a lot of lightning, a lot of heavy rain that is coming down. And on that top corner of your screen, that flag is whipping. We're seeing wind gusts up to 70 miles per hour. We had a tornado warning issued. In fact, it's still in effect for this area. However, we are showing some indications that it is
a new tornado warning
now
for that,
so they went ahead.
that French Lick storm, actually.
All right, so they went ahead and reissued that tornado warning. So that live feed that you're looking at right now is a tornado warned storm, not confirmed, but it is radar indicated. Alden, do you want to walk through that new tornado warning that just came into place with that new information?
Yeah, that tornado warning is until 11:15 p.m. Tornado possible with quarter-sized hail. This is radar indicated rotation, no confirmation of this. And it's going to be hard to get a visual confirmation on this when it's this late at night and, well, frankly, when it's at night. So that's why we tell you to always have a way to get those alerts to your phone. And especially with severe weather at night, you're going to want to have a way to be able to wake up. So hopefully you're still awake and you're watching us. We've been alerting you to this potential threat for severe weather now for the last couple of nights, and that's currently what we're looking at here. Another storm that I want to keep a close eye on is this storm near Palmyra at the moment. There's no tornado warning on it. It's just a severe thunderstorm warning, but it's isolated enough such that we could possibly see it become tornadic if it continues in its current environment. So it's headed towards central Barron at the moment. Palmyra, Fredericksburg, you're probably experiencing some of that very heavy rain and possibly quarter-sized hail. And we're also seeing some pretty heavy rain falling in the New Albany area as we continue to look around the metro. So it doesn't really matter where you are this evening. You're probably going to be seeing some of that very heavy rainfall. As we throw back on our velocity tracker here, I don't quite see any of those tight couplets. It's probably going to be just to the south there of French Lick or just to the what's that direction? West, excuse me, of Paoli.
You know, I think that they extended that tornado warning just in the case that one happens to strengthen right along this line, because as we mentioned, we're not really seeing any clear indication that there is a tornado out there, but the potential is there, and that's why tornado warnings are issued, so you can know ahead of time. So this tornado warning is in effect only for Orange County, and I believe that is until 11:20 p.m. around that time. Alden, could you confirm with that time? 11:15 p.m. All right, so we're seeing some areas that could have that area to strengthen. So Paoli, I think for the next 20 minutes, it's safe to say, go ahead and head into your basement. Even if you have to wake up your kids, tell them to bring their favorite stuffed animal, go downstairs and just wait it out, because this has a potential to maybe strengthen just along the edge of this line. It's not one lone thunderstorm. It's many vortices is what I call them, spinning up, and could drop and produce some damage right along it, especially if you have anybody that's in the third floor of your home, second floor of your home. Roofs can get damaged pretty quickly, and that could cause some injuries. So we don't want any of that to happen. This is a tornado warning for that potential. We do not have any confirmation of anything on the ground, but if we could go ahead and put a track on it, one of those long tracks right along the edge off to the east.
We'll put a track on it, and then I'm also being told we can can see hail now falling in French Lick.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's
get this track on first really quick. That'll be in Paoli in 5 minutes there. Chambersburg at 11:08, Livonia at 11:12, Hardinsburg, Indiana at 11:18. As we're looking out now there in the West Baden Springs Hotel in French Lick, you can see some of that larger hail coming down, possibly at least quarter size or larger than that, and frequent lightning. These are very electric storms, so we're seeing a lot of lightning with this, as they've just issued a new severe thunderstorm warning for that same location. That's until 11:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 10:30 Central Time, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, and at least quarter-sized hail. So it's a very busy night here, Colleen.
It's a storm of many traits. I mean, we have a live feed showing you hail falling, and on that right hand of your screen, that is exactly where that storm is. So Paoli, here right now is your time to head downstairs. Hold on tight. You're about to start to see that heavy rain. Now, on that left hand of your screen, over French Lake, you see all that deep red starting to light up, especially after that scan just passed through. That is picking up some of that hail. So after the tornado threat passes, then you start to see that hail threat behind that system. So it's a divide. If we're seeing a tornado, it's going to be right along that leading edge and some of those kinks that maybe even showing some signs of strengthening right along that area. And then behind it, all of that deep red is showing some hail, which is confirmed and falling as we speak. So this is a tornado warning in effect for Orange County. If you're tuning in just now, this is the only tornado warning that we're watching out there that is in our area for Orange County here until 11:15 p.m. So it's a slow mover, but I think Paoli here for the next few minutes, and then by the time we head towards 11:04, it'll be over in Chambersburg. And looking at that reflectivity, I mean, it's really hard to pinpoint exactly where we're seeing any rotation, which is good. We want it to be difficult because it's not obvious that we're seeing any areas that could be producing a tornado. But again, if it is producing something, it would be right along those leading edge, a little difficult to see. So multiple areas that we're watching that have that potential to strengthen further and drop a tornado. Again, we're a little bit far from the radar, so we also have to take that in mind, that it could be a little bit stronger than what we're seeing here on that radar as that radar beam goes up with height. So Paoli, right now, there could be a potential tornado over you as we speak. So if you hear any heavy rain or any loud winds, head into the basement. I think for the next 5 minutes, just hold on. We're going to start to see that clear out, and then the hail threat start to enter your area. That second area that we're watching is just to the southwest of Paoli. This is a rural area of Orange County, Indiana, just southwest of Highway 150 and north of Patoka Lake. So that is where that tornado warning is in effect. This is the only tornado warning that we're tracking here for Orange County until 11:15 p.m. So really a hail threat. We could be starting to see some strengthening maybe, but I think at this point, Alden, it's possible to see a tornado over Paoli. That's why that warning isn't in place right now.
Correct. And again, that tornado warning goes until 11:15 p.m. So remember your tornado safety precautions. We go over this all the time. The lowest level, most interior portion of whatever room you're in, away from those outside walls and windows. You can see those instructions now there on your screen. You want to put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. You'll want to cover yourself and go again to that lowest floor possible, or seek shelter in an interior stairwell if you happen to live in a higher rise building. If you need to, you can take blankets and cover yourself with them. We always tell you to go ahead and get that bicycle helmet or get that football helmet with you as well. Thankfully, we don't have any significant confirmation. We don't have any confirmation of a tornado, but this is again a situation where you just don't want to take things for granted and just go ahead and get down into that safe space. If you don't have a TV in your basement, you can always take us on your phone. We're streaming live on WHAS11.com or WHAS11 app. In addition to Facebook, YouTube as well, you can get all of those alerts directly to your phone for free. So that's what we're keeping our closest eye on at the moment. Looking back at radar now, it's a fairly active radar. Things have lit up quite a bit. And speaking of literal light, these are very electric storms. There's a lot of lightning with these, and in fact we can do a lightning count over the last 30 minutes. We're looking at over 1,200 lightning strikes across the WHAS 11 viewing area over the last 30 minutes, and that's continuing it to grow. So these are very electric storms, and these are very probably somewhat loud storms too, Colleen.
Yeah, definitely loud storms and all modes of severe weather. We're getting multiple reports of hail. Now that's just reported pea-size hail on Great Fox Drive in New Albany, Indiana. So two different areas that we're watching. The first are these firing up thunderstorms that could be producing some hail. In fact, we're getting some reports of it, but I think the tornado threat is going to remain along that leading edge of a potential spin-up tornado along those leading edge of that storm. So zooming on into that one tornado warning, let's go ahead and get an update with it because we were watching it and it looked possible at that time. Nothing too significant that we're watching over downtown Paoli, Orange County right now, and you can see looking at this reflectivity, it's pretty straight. When we get straight lines, that's showing broadening, meaning it's kind of blowing out, more of a wind event more than a tornado event. However, if we're happening to see something starting to strengthen, it'll be east of Paoli along Highway 150 and then just west of Hardinsburg right now. So that's that potential area of maybe seeing some rotation right now within this tornado warning that's in effect until 11:15 p.m. We have Chief Meteorologist Ben Pine, and right now tracking those storms.
Yeah, good evening, Colleen. Do you have my mic up? Are we all good? Okay, cool. Here's a look at where we are tracking this thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado heading towards Livonia at about 11:07. Hardinsburg being your place of shelter here. That's heading your way at about 11:13 into south central area. Vocational school at 11:13 as well. So we're talking east central Orange County, moving into west central Washington County. So just off to the southwest of Salem. Here is Highway 56 and then into the Becks Mill area at 11:16. So Alden, I want to go back and do an overview of the entire situation here. It looks like we got that tornado watch that goes until 4 a.m. for much of the area. We've got a slew of severe thunderstorm warnings. We've got individual cells popping up out ahead of the line of storms, and we were hoping that this line would be on a weakening trend as we progress through the nighttime. Unfortunately, this line came in a little bit ahead of schedule, so it's still working with a very juicy, unstable atmosphere and the wind shear as well. So we got the ingredients for all the severe weather that Colleen has been talking about here over the last half hour to 45 minutes. So we have the severe thunderstorm warnings capable of producing hail upwards of around a quarter size to maybe golf ball size hail, inch in size, which can do some damage to the roof of your home or your car. So you definitely want to get inside whenever you hear that severe thunderstorm warning happen in your area. Also, damaging winds in excess of 60 miles per hour. Those straight line winds, they can do tree and power line damage, cause some power outages across the area. Not going to be surprised if we get some scattered power outages with this squall line and the broken line of thunderstorms out ahead of it as well. So back to Max HD radar, there you can see it is just clusters of showers and thunderstorms. After a record high of 82 degrees, we just have an ample supply of this fuel for the storms across the area here this evening. Thankfully, they're moving at about 45 to 50 miles per hour, so they are going to be in and out. It's not going to be a long-lived threat, and you may want to just stay awake here a little while longer with us until we can move these storms through your area. We're going to let you know when it's in the clear. We're also going to let you know and give you a storm track when it's going to be heading your way. General line storm track here along this squall line. And the problem is we get these little notches, as Colleen and Alden been talking about, and that's where you get the brief spin-up tornadoes, which can be often an EF0, EF1, similar to very strong straight line damaging winds. So heading towards the Louisville metro area around 11:50, sometimes there can be little pulses in that line that strengthen and become a little quicker than other areas, and it can speed up. So give or take here, sometimes it can come in a little bit quicker, a little bit slower, but around 11:50 in Louisville as we approach midnight into Elizabethtown at about 12:15, just after midnight, into the Bardstown area at 12:30 into Frankfurt at 12:50. Now, we've got a large portion of our storm team here. We've got folks checking reports. When it is safe to do so, you can send us your reports once those storms have moved on through your area. Your photos at WHAS11.com and many other ways. You can contact us on Facebook, and you can tweet us at WHAS11 on the X platform. So here in Paoli, this is the main concern. Alden, would you agree there's not a whole lot of organization from previous what you saw?
I would agree, and we just have kind of been looking at this storm pulse up every now and then, but as Colleen has been saying too, it does appear to be primarily almost a straight line wind threat. Now, we have had a history of tornadoes today alone. We had that earlier EF2 that impacted parts of Madison, Indiana, and near the Madison, Indiana areas, and Milton, Kentucky, excuse me. But as of right now, I don't see too much with that warning there for Orange County, and they did cancel the tornado warning for Du Bois County. So this is really the only storm that we're looking at the moment with any concern. We don't see any other major reports coming in at the moment either. So right now we're kind of okay. They might go ahead and let that warning expire since it only goes for another 10 minutes. Other areas of concern that we'll be watching, that severe thunderstorm warning near Palmyra at the moment. That's producing 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and about quarter-inch hail. And I'm seeing several reports of pea-sized hail across the area. And they're going to allow that tornado warning, the National Weather Service is saying, Ben, to expire at 11:15 p.m. there for Paoli and the eastern parts of Orange County.
That is definitely good news as far as that tornado warning, but definitely stay inside, stay in your place of shelter if you're under a severe thunderstorm warning with this very potent squall line that's going to be moving through. We're just going to do a tour. We're going to cycle through where we have the threats, where we have the strong and severe thunderstorms here, probably over the next half hour. Might take a little bit longer if these storms continue to stay very strong across the area. So from north to south we'll go. We'll go a little bit farther north up I-65. Strong thunderstorm here over North Vernon and Jennings County crossing over I-65. Can we put the lightning strikes on as well, Alden? And we'll just say we're going to get frequent lightning strikes. These are going to be loud thunderstorms. There was lightning crossing the sky on my way into work here. So these are your kind of late spring, early summer-like thunderstorms that have a lot of energy to work with. And then as you look off to the southwest, there's where the severe thunderstorm warning begins in Washington County. It's bumping up to Salem, Indiana. And as Colleen was also mentioning, all those different hazards are in play here. You've got the golf ball size hail potential, damaging winds in excess of 60 miles per hour. Also torrential rain. It's going to be hard if you're going to be out driving in this. Blinding rainfall coming down included in the threats that we have here. Around Palmyra, we've got this thunderstorm out ahead of the main squall line that could be producing some large hail. It's moving from southeastern Washington County, Indiana, near Palmyra. So there's Highway 150, and then heading towards Highway 60 in the Borden Valley. So heading very soon over the Borden, Indiana area, where we see the darker colors of purple, reddish colors. That's where we have the potential for some hail. We don't want this to start curling or looking like a notch, because then it could have some tornado potential. We might want to investigate the velocities in some of these individual storms every once in a while as well. And then to the east of that, we've got some just general thunderstorms that aren't producing severe weather, but heavy rain over much of Clark County from Henryville over to New Wash. And this is just off to the north of downtown Louisville right now. We've had also some hail reports, not that large, but in parts of the metro and up to the northeast towards Prospect. Now, Prospect, it's probably a loud thunderstorm, heavy rain coming down in areas off to the east and south of LaGrange, possibly some hail, maybe some dime to nickel size hail coming down in those thunderstorms. And these storms, again, out ahead still of the main line that we have that's going to be pushing through here over the next couple of hours.
And Ben, a lot of those hail reports we've gotten have been around 1 inch in diameter, so about quarter size. Brownstown and Crawford County also reporting about 1 inch hail up there to our north, where they don't have any severe thunderstorm warnings. Let's see here. They're also going to be issuing a new severe thunderstorm warning for Harrison, Washington, and Clark County, Indiana here in the next few minutes. Getting reports of pea to marble-sized hail down in Hardinsburg, Kentucky, Kentucky. So these are hailers, as we would say. A lot of gusty winds with these, frequent lightning and hail, small, medium, well, really hail of all sizes is what we're going to be looking at for tonight.
And as you know, to keep hail that large lofted up in the air, you've got to have some very strong winds. So anytime you have large hail, you're going to have a damaging wind threat as well. So it looks like there's going to be warnings all up and down that squall line. So as we back up our view, just be ready for this severe thunderstorm line right here to just continue to progress to the east here as it's moving to the east anywhere from around 45 to 55 miles per hour. Some intense lightning coming down as well here in Corden. So we've got this extended area of severe weather that's going to continue to push to the east here and get closer to Louisville as we approach midnight. Of course, out ahead of this squall line and this damaging straight line wind threat, you've got these individual thunderstorms that are putting down lots of lightning, heavy rainfall, and the potential for some hail as well. And we have non-severe thunderstorms around Shepherdsville, Bullitt County, Fort Knox, Radcliffe, off to the southwest, all over Breckenridge County, Irvington, Hardinsburg, and down towards Rough River, down the Western Kentucky Parkway into western portions of Grayson County around Caneyville. So not severe necessarily, but still some strong thunderstorms. Just want to stay inside and wait this all out and not go out and try to navigate through some of the pouring rain that we have out there as well. So the main threat that we are going to continue to watch, if we want to go ahead and put another track on this, Alden, as it continues to move to the east, and going to get closer to Louisville as we go minute by minute. I know we've also had some cameras out there around French Lick. We might check in on those again here in just a moment after this track. Heading into Palmyra in about 10-15 minutes at 11:25. Brandenburg at 11:43 into Louisville Metro. So that timing is pretty close to the last track we gave you, which was 11:51, 11:55. So again, give or take about 10 minutes just to be prepared. And then heading into Shepherdsville, Newcastle areas just after midnight tonight. So pretty quick moving line. So you can see that the areas that no longer have a severe weather threat are to the west of that line. So Patoka Lake area, much of Du Bois County no longer has a threat of severe weather for tonight. As is the case, what we often see, once you get the main line through, then you don't have to worry about the severe weather anymore, and you can go back to sleep. So here is a look at a very strong thunderstorm, which looks like it's kind of pulsing up in strength here, getting a little bit broader and bigger, covering almost all of West Clark now, West Clark County. So here's Starlight near Huberts, and then Highway 60 up through the Borden Valley into Pekin. So it looks like we've got some good hail that's going to be coming down here around the Borden, Starlight area as this moves off to the east. Severe thunderstorm warning. What does that go? It's about 11:30, 11:45?
11:45 for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and a quarter-sized hail. Yeah, it's moving to the east at 45 miles per hour.
And very near the Greenville area. We'll continue to watch for some possible rotation on the southwest side of that storm. And Alden's putting a track on the actual hail core, which is right there. That's that deeper purple color, that pink color that you see right there. So the hail core heading towards Bennettsville, Deem Lake, in the Memphis area, Charlestown here over the next 15 minutes or so. Oldham Acres, Goshen, Hibernia into Dimpleytown as well over the next half hour to 45 minutes. Have these mostly been still tracking around 45?
Yes.
So 45 mile per hour storms here. So just off to the south of there, the Knobs, not a severe thunderstorm, but each of these individual cells we'll be watching here very closely. Expanding out the view again, we're going to kind of cycle. And I want to show you the loop of our entire WHAS 11 viewing area with a tornado watch that goes until 4 a.m. We are here for you. We're going to be on while this threat continues. While we don't necessarily have a tornado warning at this time, we've got what we have severe thunderstorm warnings with extra information, what we call tags, which means tornado possible. So these little spin-ups can happen, as Colleen mentioned earlier, in a moment's notice. And so we've got to watch this line very, very closely for the potential of these little notches, these little curls in the line that can produce these individual tornadoes, and the potential of just some damaging straight line winds. So right now, along and north of the Ohio River is where we have much of southern Indiana real estate covered in severe thunderstorm warnings. And then not severe necessarily, but strong thunderstorms nonetheless, lining up from Metro Louisville down to the southwest, just west of Elizabethtown, and then waiting for this line to push through. Once that's gone, we are in the clear as far as severe weather for the rest of tonight. Who is in the clear as far as severe weather? It looks like Seymour, Jackson County, Indiana, Bedford, Lawrence County. Pretty soon, much of Orange County, once we get that line through, you're going to be in the clear as far as severe weather, and Du Bois County is out of that threat of severe weather for the rest of tonight. So again, it won't take too long to get this entire line moving through the area. And we can try to load up Futurecast here in just a moment too, if you've got that graphic loaded up. But here's a look at the overall view of the tornado watch. It looks like we're now out of that watch in Bedford and Seymour, as I mentioned, in the clear of severe weather. And then we still have the tornado watch covering much of Kentucky and including Metro Louisville until 4 o'clock this morning. So Futurecast handling it okay, I guess I would say, as far as the initial thunderstorm activity, but just kind of looking at the overall view of the activity as it moves on through the area. So by 1 o'clock, it looks like it's off to the east of Louisville. And remember, our latest track here just a few minutes ago had it moving into Louisville just before midnight. So give it about a half-hour move through Jefferson County, and so it'll be off to the east by 1 a.m. or even maybe a little bit before that. So this is 2 o'clock in the morning. As we head through the late night hours, we start to lose the juice and the fuel for these thunderstorms. So we do hope that these thunderstorms will be a weakening trend as we get after midnight, after 1 a.m. So hopefully these thunderstorms won't necessarily be severe. Yes, we'll be here to watch it very closely, but there you still see some rain left over here through the late night hours off to the south and southeast of Louisville. But generally that severe weather threat will decrease, we certainly hope so, as we head after midnight and lose some of that available energy for the thunderstorms. Back to the tracking, we go to Max HD radar. Remember, if there is a tornado warning, you want to get into the lowest level of your home, as many walls between you and the outside. So the most interior portion of your home, that might be a hall closet, that might be a bathroom. Try to stay away from the windows too in case they break out. You might want to get pillows, blankets, maybe even the sports equipment, the helmet, whatever can help you out to protect yourself from any flying debris. So these are all just preparation things to think about. Just be ready if a warning is issued for you and your family to head into your safe place. The lowest level of your home, of course, is always the best place to go. Tons and tons of lightning strikes. This is a lightning factory, these clusters of showers and thunderstorms, kind of disorganized area of showers and thunderstorms now with 1,500 lightning strikes. So I don't think this is necessarily the higher tornado threat that parts of Indiana saw earlier today and this evening up in Winchester, east of Muncie, Indiana, north of Richmond. Their fatal tornado up that way a little bit earlier this evening. So looks like kind of transitioning to a very heavy rain, lightning, thunder, and damaging wind threat. So straight line winds going to be the main impact. Also the potential of some large damaging hail that we're going to need to watch out for too, which the main hail threat still looks like it's in Clark County, Indiana. So this area just about 10-15 minutes off to the northwest of Louisville is where we see some of the heaviest rain and possibly some strong winds as well. Might want to check the velocity inside this thunderstorm that's over Borden, Indiana. So not looking too extreme. Maybe is this storm relative or base?
Storm relative.
All right, might check the base too, just to see if we get any. We're looking for maybe some blue areas, which on our color palette makes us shows us that wind speeds could be in excess of 50 to 60 miles per hour. So we're not seeing that extreme wind threat, thankfully, here in Clark County. Just some kind of broad rotation in general there. As you expand out the view, Alden out west, I know that squall line had a lot of blue colors earlier. Still seeing some pockets here, some jet stream winds maybe attached aloft in those thunderstorms. So over 60 mile per hour wind potential moving through Crawford County around the English area. So you're looking down west of Louisville, west down Interstate 64. So about half hour, 45 minutes west of Louisville is where we see the potential of some damaging straight line winds. The storm's now starting to move to the east of Jasper and Du Bois County. So this is all along this line is where we're going to have that severe thunderstorm warning continuing and likely moving into the Louisville area just before midnight. So as I mentioned, it's about a half hour west of Louisville. It's moving at about 45 miles per hour. So on that speed, that's going to move it into the Louisville area like around 11:50, it looks like bumping up to the Ohio River. So new track here with Alden putting that on there and heading towards the Corden area at about 11:30 and just about 10 minutes heads up there. I know, Corden, you already have some heavy rain around your area, but we've got the squall line, the wind threat that's going to be moving in next. And same for you, Brandenburg, about 11:40, 11:45, that thunderstorm heading your direction into, again, Louisville metro area. That track has been consistent. So heads up, Louisville at 11:50, to about midnight. So right before midnight, we're looking at this complex of storms, the squall line moving in and possibly producing some damaging straight line winds. Also, can't rule out a quick isolated spin up tornado. Shepherdsville into your area at about 12:15, so moving through Bullitt County and into the Newcastle area at about 12:30. That would be it moving into Henry County, so moving east of Louisville by 12:30, probably before 1 o'clock this morning. So it looks like Paoli, thankfully, much of Orange County is out of the way of the severe weather, in the clear, as the line is now moving through Washington County and through the Salem area. So this next is going to be heading towards Scottsburg, towards Interstate 65. So much of Clark County under a strong thunderstorm, not necessarily a big wind threat, but a hail threat out ahead of the squall line that's going to be moving through next. Up next as well, we've got Harrison County, Indiana, that's going to be experiencing some strong winds, some heavy rain, lightning, and thunder. Same for Meade and Breckenridge counties. So that warning, this was expected to be expanded over Harrison County, correct?
I'm sorry, repeat that. I was looking at something else.
So ahead of that squall line, that severe thunderstorm warning expected to be expanded over Harrison County?
I haven't seen anything about that quite yet.
Okay.
They've been issuing weather statements, though, for some of those other storms, primarily for 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts and penny-sized hail, so not anything that's near the technical severe weather, severe thunderstorm criteria at the moment. But it's starting to race out ahead of that warning a little bit, so we could be seeing a weakening trend here, Ben, which of course would be a good thing.
Yes, that would be very good. And if you get a moment, just kind of search for the CAPE. That's a look at the fuel for the thunderstorms. We'll just look over a few of the ingredients here for severe weather and see if we see that is on a diminishing trend. So this is the juice, sometimes what we call it, just the food, the fuel for thunderstorms. If thunderstorms grow, how much energy do they have to become severe? So we still have some of that right ahead of the line. Notice behind the line, you get rid of the storm fuel. So just need that line to pass through, and then you don't have to worry about severe weather for the rest of the night. And that is the case now around Seymour, very soon around Salem, Paoli, Bedford, Jasper. So we're going to be clearing more and more areas of southern Indiana first. And then after midnight, we'll have the storms moving through metro Louisville. And yeah, it has been, like I said earlier, a lightning factory, just flashes everywhere, streaking across the sky. A lot of energy for these thunderstorms here after that record high of 82 that we had earlier this afternoon. There you can see the cloud to ground classic lightning strike there. And we've also had a lot of the lightning strikes crawling across the sky. So this is looking from around Hurstbourne Parkway, Interstate 64. This is downtown right there. So we don't have the thunderstorm in Louisville yet, but it is not too far just over the river. And this is looking back towards the west from about 10 miles out. This is our Midway University cam, part of our U of L Health Camera Network. Also mentioned, it is still warm out there, 74 degrees. So these storms, you can feel the mugginess outside, which it is still winter time technically, but it feels more like May across the area. And of course, May is peak severe weather season, so we've got the ingredients for obviously the severe weather. Another view here from downtown, looking down to Broadway and our downtown streets out towards the west with more of the frequent cloud to ground lightning strikes. So that's Mother Nature's #1 way to alert you and just tell you to stay inside until it's over. If you hear the thunder roar, stay indoors. So as we go back to Max HD radar, we'll just kind of circle through and cycle through through and do a tour of the radar again it is very, very colorful, to say the least, here throughout much of the viewing area. Now, I know you guys are still waiting for the thunderstorm activity here in Bardstown, south of the Bluegrass Parkway, down towards Campbellsville, but you're going to get some of that soon, and hopefully with time we will start to lose some of the energy and see a weakening trend continue. We do not have a tornado warning at this time, but we do have a number of severe thunderstorms that are capable of producing some damaging winds, some large hail, and lots of lightning and thunder, and some gusty winds included with some torrential rainfall. So a little bit closer to home here in Louisville as we zoom in, and then we'll kind of spread out. Severe thunderstorm warning just to the north that includes Sellersburg and Charlestown, and a little piece as well of Oldham County just to the north of Prospect, for that big cell right there that is now moving east of Borden and now heading towards Sellersburg and Charlestown with a hail threat as it moves right over I-65 between Henryville and Sellersburg, and only about 10 miles off to the north of Louisville. And then in Louisville itself, we now have a thunderstorm. If we want to go ahead and put the lightning strikes back on, see if we have any lightning coming down. Yeah, we've got a number of lightning strikes with this cell right here. Now, this storm is not severe, but it could be putting down some small hail and some gusty winds as it moves into Shively now, into downtown in the next few minutes. That storm is not the main squall line that we've been predicting to move into Louisville by around 11:50 to midnight. That's this line right here, which Alden and Colleen, I think, is looking fairly ragged, maybe a little bit compared to what you guys had a little earlier this evening.
Yeah, it's lost a lot of strength. It's a bit stronger there to the south heading into Breckinridge County, which, Ben, here's an area we need to be watching out for, is right there. Yeah. Starting to get a little bit of a kink there in the line. Let's put on our velocity products here. Don't quite see too much there yet, but that's something we're going to have to keep a close eye on, as it's going to be that southern edge of the storm now that's probably of that squall line that's probably going to be causing us any problems if we were to see any additional problems arise there. So that's something we'll be watching very carefully. But at the same time, as the rest of that squall line kind of catches up to it, it can kind of overcome it, so to say, overcome some of those leading edges, and then it just turns into a significant wind threat.
And I'm curious too, Alden, is as you back up the view again, that all these unorganized clusters of showers and thunderstorms kind of eating up on the energy that this squall line was using alone for its own strong, keeping itself very strong. Looks like we got a new severe thunderstorm warning out, and we'll see where that is here in just one moment. But this area, as you mentioned, Alden, is kind of bulging out right here. So there could be the potential. Usually look at the apex of this curvature right here, this bow echo, and that's where you can sometimes get some of those jet stream winds to come down to the surface and cause some damaging straight line winds. So we're definitely going to watch out here in Breckinridge County for the potential of some isolated damaging wind gusts. Heavy rain, lightning, thunder, all those severe weather threats we're still watching for. Low threat of a tornado, a little spin up possible with some of those curvatures, those kinks in the line that Alden was mentioning. So we're watching that very closely too. So here's a look at the new severe thunderstorm warning that we have for Scott County. Includes, of course, Scottsburg. This is right along, this is exit 29 up I-65. So about 30 miles to the north of Louisville is where we have a new severe thunderstorm warning for the potential of some large hail and some destructive winds. Yeah.
That severe thunderstorm warning is until midnight, moving to the east at 65 miles per hour. So that one's booking it.
It's kind of good and bad. It's going to be in and out very quickly, but when these storms move so quickly, sometimes they do pack a lot of wind strength. This goes into western Jefferson County in Indiana, so just out to the west of Hanover and the Saluda area. On this track, heading towards Scottsburg at about 11:30, into Lexington, Indiana at around 11:35, and to Saluda at 11:45, and to Hanover at 10:45 Central Time. I don't know why that is Central Time. 11:45 Eastern Time, in the Brooksburg as we approach midnight. So we have a lot of rainfall coming down. This is torrential rainfall. If we start to get these areas that are already experiencing a lot of heavy rainfall to continue to see a lot of heavy rainfall that's coming in from the west. There could be some pockets of some localized flooding to watch for too. So just another one of the concerns that we're keeping a close eye on. So just to get your bearings here, Louisville is right down here. Here's I-71 where we have some heavy rain through Carroll County, Trimble County, and then we've got that new severe thunderstorm warning that takes you from just east of Salem, east central Washington County, and into Scott County, and just the western portion of Jefferson County and Indiana. We still have
Ben, you did mention flooding problems, flooding concerns. There is a flood advisory for Trimble County, Kentucky. That is until 3:15 in the morning. So that is something we're going to be watching for next, are those localized areas of potential flooding. Some good news, though, they are beginning to trim some of those tornado watched counties at the moment. So as I accidentally keep clicking past it there, but they have dropped Orange and Du Bois County from that tornado watch. So as we see that main line of thunderstorms push through the area, that's also going to eliminate that tornado threat. So we're going to continue to see those counties be slowly but surely dropped from that tornado watch from west to east across the area tonight.
And I've been keeping my eyes on the Scottsburg camera of where that severe thunderstorm warning is about to enter. It's pretty quiet, but we're starting to see that camera start to shake. If we could pull that up there. Yeah, so that severe thunderstorm warning is heading its way. The wind is about to pick up there. I think that visibility is about to get very minimal across the Scottsburg area. Ben?
Yeah, no doubt. And still, again, 74 degrees our current temperature. And back to radar, we just have a few severe thunderstorm warnings. And look at those frequent flashes of lightning. And it is almost a summer-like night where you have those frequent lightning strikes coming down just one after another. So this is definitely going to keep a lot of us up here late tonight. A lot of us going to be a little bit tired at work and school for tomorrow with the severe thunderstorm warnings that we have and that we're continuing to track across the area. So this is a live view from the water tower in downtown Scottsburg, Indiana, and looking out towards where we have those thunderstorms. So back to the radar and back to the main areas of concern.
Max, excuse me, Will, can you switch to Max 3, please? Our main computer here is freezing up, our main program. So I have radar up on Max 3. That's what we'll be looking at here for the next couple of minutes as we get our other computer here functioning, Ben.
Yeah, I mean, these computers are chugging on a lot of data. I mean, lots of lightning strikes. This is a lot of data, so Max 1 needs to take a little breather. We're going over to Max 3 here. We've always got several backups just in case. So downtown getting some heavy rainfall. We have the severe thunderstorm warning over much of Clark County, new severe thunderstorm warning here over Scott County, western Jefferson County. No tornado warnings at this time. Thankfully, we do have a tornado watch that continues until 4 a.m. You've got more thunderstorms here in clusters through Bullitt County. Strong thunderstorm here, likely with some hail. We're starting to see some darker colors. The new tornado warning, by the way. Alden, that's what you're watching here just a few minutes ago. That little kink, that little curl, that notch has tightened right there a little bit. So you've got this curl right there. So that's that area of concern. Potential a tornado here in central Breckinridge County, just to the north of Hardinsburg, where we have this tightening, this what we call a couplet, where the green and the red is very close together. But also just on the reflectivity, where we see that notch, is where we have the potential of a tornado. This is radar indicated at this time. We don't have a confirmation that it's necessarily on the ground, but we definitely want to give you a heads up just in case. Starting to see some of the signals that a tornado could be on the ground. So this is a Highway 60 that goes through Meade County and then through Hardinsburg. So north of Highway 60 is where we have the potential of that tornado. So if we want to go ahead and put a track on that.
That's moving to the east at about 50 miles per hour. I'll put on our cone track there near Hardinsburg. So if you're in Hardinsburg, you should go ahead and be in your tornado safe spots right now. That's the lowest level, most interior portion of whatever room you're in, away from those outside walls and windows. I'll redraw that here as it wasn't plotting those actual towns.
We'll do a couple of them too, because I think also right north of Hardinsburg is where we have that potential of a spin up too. So Hardinsburg, be in your place of shelter, and yeah, make it bigger. That'll do it. And so we've got the potential of a tornado that's going to be moving Hardinsburg area, areas north of Hardinsburg, Basin Spring at around 10:42 Central, Louisville at 10:45 Central Time, Big Spring at 10:54 Central, and in the Four Corners area as we approach midnight. And let's go ahead and put that warning polygon back on there.
And we can switch back to Max 1. We have that back now.
Okay. So we have a new tornado warning. This is not too far off to the southwest of Louisville. So it looks like it's this area right here north of Hardinsburg, right in the middle of the polygon, Alden, where you have almost looks like a little triangle right there. So you have something in the atmosphere that's making this rotate basically into itself, this squall line right there. So there's a potential of some rotation. You can see this rain wrapping around. So when we have that rotation, that's when there's the potential of a quick spin up. A lot of times when that happens on these disorganized squall lines, it could be an EF0, EF1. We're talking winds 70, 80, 90 miles per hour. That can do some damage to sheds and barns, also cause power outages. So right now between Irvington and Hardinsburg is where we have our area of concern and where you need to be in your place of shelter right now. Right over 259, heading towards 86, over Highway 60, just to the south of the Irvington area here in central and east central Breckenridge County. Here is Meade County right here. Metro Louisville's up to our northeast. So this tornado warning, does that go till 11:45, Alden, moving to the east at 60?
Stand by.
Yeah,
Until midnight Eastern, 11 p.m. Central Time.
Okay, so a half hour from now. Okay, so that's going to continue for a little while. Well, we've seen many times that the structure, the signal for a tornado doesn't last necessarily as long as the tornado warnings, but we are definitely here for you to keep track of it. Lowest level of your home is where you want to go. It is now time for you and your family to be seeking shelter if you are in these areas between Hardinsburg and Irvington in Breckenridge County. This is where we have the potential for a quick spin up tornado, and this is where we have the tornado warning that goes until, again, midnight Eastern Time, 11 p.m. Central Time, so about 25 more minutes for the tornado warned storm. Right here is where we have the potential of that tornado. Again, this is radar indicated. We don't have a confirmation that it's on the ground. It would be hard to confirm anything, as Alden mentioned earlier tonight, with it being very dark out there. Obviously at nighttime it's hard to see anything, but this is going to be crossing over Highway 60. Let's go ahead a little bit closer and check out some of the roads about right here, right out ahead. Maybe see some of the neighborhoods as we get closer to street level, and we'll show you who is going to be in the way. So if you're around the Clifton Mills area, this is the potential area of rotation. So heading over Route 86 and then Highway 60 near the Basin Spring area. Again, in east central Breckenridge County, just off to the southwest of Louisville, is where we have our latest tornado warning. So please be seeking shelter if you're between the Garfield area and the Clifton Mills area. So let's go ahead and click back on the base reflectivity and see what we have. If you're in the Basin Spring area, you want to be seeking shelter at this time too, and into the Louisville area. Colleen?
Yeah, there's another area that I'm watching just the north of Irvington. We're starting to see something spin up around that area, some broad rotation. This is outside of that tornado warning, but you can see on that radar, we're starting to see it strengthen a little bit. Ben is way taller than I am, but yeah, so we are seeing some rotation just north of Irvington right now being indicated. So a few separate areas that we're watching of some potential spin up. There's a lot of rain with this system, so a little bit hard to pinpoint exactly where, but I think right here is another area of concern. This is not tornado warned, but this is one line that has that potential to spin up multiple areas that we're watching. So that main tornado warning is just south of Irvington over Hardinsburg right now. That tornado warning will remain in effect. There we go. We got that polygon on. All right, so that tornado warning remains in effect for the next 30 minutes between Hardinsburg and Irvington. We're starting to see it feed some energy to it, so it's starting to strengthen a little bit. If we happen to see a tornado, it's possible right now just north of Hardinsburg. So if you're in Hardinsburg, I could almost want to say you're almost in the clear. I think it's targeting between both of those cities right now as we speak. But I am a little bit concerned with this area west of Irvington, where you're starting to see another area of some potential rotation. So all of it appears to look weak. There is no confirmed tornado on the ground. This is all radar indicated that's being picked up on that radar. So this current tornado warning is in effect for Breckinridge County, and then it's going to move off farther off to the east. If we could put on reflectivity back on so we could see where these areas, and yeah, you could start to see some of that dry air being circled into that storm, and we just got that latest scan. So Hardinsburg, you're in the clear from the path of that potential tornado. I think it's moving on off farther to the east. So right now that tornado warning will remain in effect until midnight tonight. So that warning is going to continue to for the next 15 to 20 minutes. So Irvington right now, you are just on that edge of that polygon, but with that area off to the north, I think it's possible that we can see multiple spin-ups along this line. But I think our main focus is going to be right there where we're starting to get that kink. If we can go ahead and zoom back out, I do want to check some of our other communities, also including downtown, to get our bearings right. We're starting to see that rain cross downtown as we speak. So right now in Jefferson County, I think the worst part is right now for the next 45 minutes. So over downtown, Germantown, Audubon Park, over to St. Matthews, we are seeing some heavy rain and maybe even some hail being reported. Ben?
Yeah, new tornado warning that is for Meade County. That it looks like that was that portion you were mentioning.
Oh, okay.
A little bit earlier. So
okay,
you're giving us an early heads up on a new tornado warning as well.
All right, so that new tornado warning is in effect for Meade County, which is that area of rotation that we were watching there. So right now, two separate areas with two tornado warnings in place, multiple spin-ups that we're watching. So I'm not surprised that they went ahead and did that, because that one almost looked more impressive than that tornado warning off to the south. In fact, that's showing some signs of weakening. So right now, I think that biggest threat is going to be just north of Irvington with that area of rotation as it moves off to the west. So now it includes new counties or new cities in this path of this tornado warning. If we could put a track on it, it's Radcliffe,
down Highway
Fort
60
Knox
area. So just to the east of Irvington, as you were mentioning, Colleen. So heading into the Guston area at around 11:45, Hillgrove at 11:47, into Flaherty at 11:54. Now give or take a couple minutes, but you want to be seeking shelter in the safest place of your home. That's away from doors and windows, lowest level of your home. Basement is going to be the best place. And if hopefully you've had time to prepare with the tornado watch, maybe your first aid kit, pillows, blankets, whatever you can do to kind of cover up and protect yourself. So definitely be seeking shelter if you are in this tornado warned area in Meade County. And you just saw the storm track that we put on there for you. So that includes northeastern Breckinridge County. I'm going to be walking back into the wall here too, Will, just to give you a heads up. And so this is going over Route 79, 144, Fort Knox included, parts of western Bullock County, northern Hardin County, including Radcliffe and Vine Grove. So this line is just kind of jagged. It's not real organized, but we're seeing some of these curvatures here. Sometimes they only last about 5 minutes and then they'll go away. So this one down farther to the south of Irvington, between Hardinsburg and Irvington, not as impressive, but we just have these little curvatures and kinks and curls here. You can see it's kind of a wavy squall line. It's not straight up and down like we sometimes see with more organized squall lines. So it's not a good thing. That means we have some rotation in this line and the potential of damaging wind gusts and the potential of brief spin-up tornadoes. The good news here, it's moving east very quickly at about 50 to 60 miles per hour. So we're already putting some areas in the clear here. Hardinsburg, no longer concerned about severe weather there, or points off to the north around the 86 area. So that's Route 86. That's where we had that tornado warned storm going over. It looks like we're fine there now. So we still have two tornado warning areas, basically two tornado warnings just off to the southwest. Yeah, Alden?
Excuse me, sorry.
Yeah, go
There's
ahead.
also a new severe thunderstorm warning that includes Metro Louisville for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. They're not indicating any hail with this. This storm is moving to the east at 55 miles per hour. So if you're here in Metro Louisville, you're probably hearing some of that very heavy rainfall, perhaps some small hail with it, and probably quite a bit of thunder as well, as these have been very electric storms for tonight. That severe thunderstorm warning is until 12:15 in the morning. So we got about another 30 minutes on that storm here in the metro area for that severe thunderstorm warning. But the primary concern that we have at the moment is those 2 tornado warnings to our south.
And we mentioned about a half hour ago that the squall line is going to be moving into Louisville at about 11:50, 11:55, and it looks like it's pretty much on track as well to move through Louisville. So we could have some spotty power outages, frequent cloud to ground lightning, torrential rainfall, the potential of ponding of water on the roads. Want to delay any travel if you can, if you have a warning in your area. Just play it safe here, and thank you for staying up with us late tonight. I know a lot of us are going to be a little bit tired. All of us just need to play it safe with this severe weather. So this is this jagged line right here with the potential of spin-up tornadoes. So we've got a good portion of Meade County under the tornado warning, eastern sections of Breckinridge County under the tornado warning. This includes the Irvington area for a moment. That threat is starting to move to the east of you very, very soon. So it's going to be areas off to the east of where the red and green meet right here. It's going to be areas off to the east. So down Highway 60 between Irvington and Fort Knox is where the potential of a tornado. I guess it's not confirmed on the ground. This is radar indicated. We're just seeing some signals here. These little curves and maybe some tightening. We're going to have to watch those individual areas even more closely. Dangerous situation here in Meade County with the potential of a tornado. Just want to stay in your safe place along Highway 60 between Fort Knox. This goes until 12:15 Eastern time with that tornado warning, and the latest tornado warning that we have just off to the southwest of Louisville. Again, it does include this northern tip of Hardin County that is going to be heading very near the radar site there at Fort Knox. Seeing possibly some enhancement here near the Guston area. It looks like we've got some very strong winds right along basically Highway 60. If we want to zoom in a little bit tighter, right out ahead of that near the Hillgrove area, we're going to need to watch out for any streets basically coming off of Highway 60 in the Meade County area is going to be where we have this tornado potential here over the next 15 minutes to 20 minutes. So it is moving quickly, as we mentioned, moving east at about 50 to 60 miles per hour. So this threat won't last long. Just take that moment of inconvenience to get to your shelter, lowest level of your home, away from the doors and the windows, just to be safe with this tornado warning that goes until 12:15. The other tornado warning that's a little bit farther south goes until 12 a.m. So this one down here in Breckinridge County, this tornado warning until 12 a.m. And notice down here, Alden, watch it out for these little bright spots for the potential of a quick spin-up tornado. So here is Hardinsburg. You go over Highway 60 and then you're about into the Hardin County line. So as we look a little bit farther off to the east, here's Rineyville. So it looks like the potential of a tornado heading about almost out of the Breckinridge County area, so about to cross over the Breckinridge and Hardin County line over the next 10 minutes or so with that potential there. And then we've also had some little areas of rotation as well in Meade County, and that tornado warning goes all the way into the northern sections of Hardin County, which includes Fort Knox, Radcliffe, Vine Grove, and Rineyville. Now this is looking at the speed, the velocity of the raindrops. Let's go back to regular reflectivity here, Alden, and put on the lightning strikes as well. So again, we're up here late night for you here at 11:47, 74 degrees, warm and unstable air, feeding some very potent thunderstorms across the area with lots of lightning strikes, the potential for some large hail, damaging winds, and maybe some localized flooding too. So Louisville is right up here. Here's Fort Knox, Radcliffe, Vine Grove, Rineyville. Louisville, seek shelter at this time. All these areas I just mentioned under that tornado warning until 12:15 a.m. Fort Knox, Radcliffe, Vine Grove, Rhineyville. So that threat heading your direction here over the next 15 minutes. Notice, Alden, there's a little bit of a little vortice right there, potential, and then also right there. So those are the kind of the two notches that we're watching. It looks like just south of Brandenburg along Highway 60 here as it comes up to 144, and then also farther off to the south and far eastern Breckenridge County. A couple areas that could produce maybe a brief spin-up tornado. We're talking also the potential of damaging wind gusts. Damaging winds are in excess of 60 miles per hour. Sometimes these EF0 quick spin-up tornadoes will have 70, 80 mile per hour winds, so kind of similar to some pockets of damaging wind gusts.
And Ben, they just canceled the tornado warning for Breckenridge County.
Good news there for Breckenridge County. So that has been canceled a little bit early. That was going to go until 12 a.m., 11 p.m. Central Time. So this one has been canceled. Still going to watch that little notch very closely. And then we still have this tornado potential with this curvature right here along Highway 60. So if you take that in time to the east, that will be heading very near the Fort Knox area and possibly portions of western Bullitt County, northern Hardin County are going to have to watch out. So this is that little kind of triangle area looking spot along the squall line between the Buck Grove area and Hillgrove. So on that track, as Alden just put on there, heading to the Muldraw area at almost right about midnight, which is about 10 minutes from now. Pritchard Place right about midnight too, and into Fort Knox and King Silver School. All those spots that you see there are right around midnight tonight. So please be seeking shelter a little bit longer. Again, this won't take too much time. Once it moves into your area, we're talking maybe 5-10 minutes that you need to be seeking shelter. Then you're okay. Then you can go to bed. And don't worry about it after that. Speaking of not worrying about it, I just want to give the broader view here that and show you where we are now in the clear as far as severe weather. Irvington no longer under the threat, and in fact most of Breckenridge County no longer concerned about the destructive winds and the hail and the tornado threat. And notice areas west of Louisville. So we're talking much of Harrison County, around Corden, English, west of I-65 in Indiana, and really west of Madison. Much of southern Indiana now is no longer under the threat of severe weather. We do have the severe thunderstorm warning for Metro Louisville, so I want to zoom in here, and we've got lots of lightning strikes. We can check out some of the Metro cams here in a moment as well. So this is possibly some hail coming down. I did get a hail report recently in New Albany. It looks like the potential of some more hail in New Albany around the Knobs and crossing over into the Portland area, west into Louisville, around Shively. Along this line, notice that it looks a little bit more, I would say, linear and organized than the clusters off to the south. So that might be the leading edge of some destructive winds. Going to have to watch out for some isolated damaging winds around Shively, around the Waterston 264, down Dixie Highway, PRP, Valley Station. Notice that one scan right there went from the Ohio River up to Dixie Highway. That's how fast the squall line is moving to the east at about 50 to 60 miles per hour. Now right over the top of Portland, coming into downtown with the gusty winds. And we are very close to the radar site, so if we check out the wind speeds, it should be pretty close to what is actually happening on the ground. Hopefully it's not very bad, but we're going to have to watch out again for some gusty conditions out there as we look at our reflectivity. And so right now, not seeing any extreme winds with this squall line, but there's going to be the potential for some isolated pockets of damaging winds here, Alden. So it looks like that squall line moving right up to 264 and down Dixie Highway. Our next scan is going to put this up to Iroquois Park and about to the airport, covering over U of L, down up to I-65 in downtown. So watching out for some damaging wind gusts, some very heavy rain, torrential rainfall. Just want to delay your travel if you can. Just wait for maybe 15 minutes, and this is going to start to move east of downtown toward the Highlands, St. Matthews areas east of I-65 with the next couple of scans of the radar. and we're going to see that update here in just a moment. It doesn't take too long to get in that new information. So that's also bumping up to Valley Station down around the Snyder. It's going to be heading towards Fairdale, Jefferson Forest into Okolona, and points off to the south into Bullitt County as well. So severe thunderstorm warning. Did you say that goes until 12:30?
Yes.
Okay. So severe thunderstorm warning for all of Louisville proper, the whole city, until 12:30 in the morning. And once we get that line through, we don't have to worry about it anymore. We can finally catch up on some sleep here on this very late Thursday night, almost into Friday. So this is a live look from Hurstbourne Parkway, Interstate 64. New tornado warning has just been put out, and we're going to check out where that is. That might be an extension of the tornado warning off to the south.
Yes, this is in Hardin County. This is a new tornado warning. This includes E-Town. So this is a new tornado warning for Hardin County, central Hardin County, until 12:30. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was 15 miles to the east of Hardinsburg, moving to the east at 45 miles per hour. So it looks like it's kind of in the same area of that earlier notch you were talking about, Ben, that you were watching with concern.
And let's take off the radar, Alden, and just put on the warning, just because we have so many colors going on. There's just so much activity. So we've had a few different tornado warnings in this general area south of Louisville that has included the southeastern areas of Meade County. So here's Highway 60. This area in east central Breckenridge County, that was canceled. So we're going to see that color drop off soon. The new tornado warning is this portion right here that comes all right up to Elizabethtown, I-65, coming up to the Bluegrass Parkway and the Western Kentucky Parkway. Here's Highway 31 as well. So anywhere from Fort Knox, Radcliffe, Elizabethtown, west to the Breckenridge and Hardin County line is where we have the threat of an isolated spin-up tornado. Just want to be in your place of shelter for just a little while longer. Stay in your safe place that's away from the doors and the windows, lowest level of your home. And again, you can grab that first aid kit, pillows and blankets, and just stay calm and get yourself, get your family down to the lowest level of your home, hopefully the basement here. So this is a look at Interstate 65, Bullitt County, Lebanon Junction, down to Elizabethtown, and then we have the tornado warning that includes Fort Knox and Radcliffe, Elizabethtown. Let's go ahead and go back to, let's go velocity, and then we'll put a track on it and show some towns that, yeah, and you can see how this curves, and it doesn't do that for no reason. There are some winds that are making the rain curve into the squall line. So you do have some rotation here in a couple different spots. So far eastern Meade County, heading towards Radcliffe, stay in your place of shelter here, Fort Knox, Radcliffe, just south of downtown. This is the actual radar site. So we're actually getting really good data very close to the radar scans. So Alden is putting a track on that as it moves off to the east and southeast at about 50 miles per hour. Put a new track on that as it heads towards Elizabethtown. We're actually going to put this a little bit east of where the tornado warning is, just to give more people a heads up what is on the way. So we've got Radcliffe right at midnight in just about 5 minutes. You can see it is on your doorstep, so definitely be seeking shelter into Cecilia just after midnight, into Elizabethtown at around 12:10 a.m. into the Boston area, so that's going to be around 12:15. So we're talking western Nelson County by that time, and into the Bellwood area as we approach 12:30 in the morning. So we've got a couple of tornado warnings. The latest tornado warning, does that go until 12:30, Alden?
That tornado warning is until 12. I'm trying to see here, 12:30, yes.
12:30, okay. Yeah, just confirming that. So until 12:30, we've got this tornado warning. And again, we're seeing this curvature along the squall line. So when we get this feature right here, that's the potential of some damaging winds and also a quick spin-up tornado. Spin-up tornadoes don't last very long. They're usually not the stronger type of tornadoes, but they can do definitely some damage. They might be an EF0 or EF1 with winds in excess of 70 or 80 miles per hour typically. We could also have some straight line winds in excess of 60 miles per hour that can do some damage to the barns and the sheds, maybe even the roof of your house. They can cause power outages. So we're going to need to check on and see if we have some power outages here in just a moment once we get some of those reports in. Yeah.
We did get a report that there's power outages being reported in Breckenridge. That's from the emergency management near Highway 86. So what you're looking at on the screen did produce some damage that are either trees, but it did cause some power outages over in Breckenridge.
Yeah, that's from that tornado warning that we were tracking earlier, right along 60 and 86. Just to the north of Hardinsburg. So it looks like we've got some confirmation of some damage, or at least some power line damage in portions of central Breckenridge County. Thank you, Colleen, for that report. So we've got a little bit of a history of some power outages, strong winds, indicative of some very strong winds here with this jagged looking squall line. And then you've got thunderstorms that are not severe out ahead of it that are along the Bluegrass Parkway and about to move over I-65. So these thunderstorms are just kind of the appetizer to our main event that is moving into Hardin County now. The good news is it's moving quickly enough that the threat ends rapidly. So we're seeing much of Breckenridge County out of the threat of severe weather, and very soon Meade County will be out of the threat of severe weather. Of most concern right now is Fort Knox, Radcliffe, Vine Grove, and down to Elizabethtown along Highway 31. Stay in your place of shelter. From there, points west to where you get almost to the Breckenridge County line. So in this basically little triangle here from Elizabethtown off to the Breckenridge County line to Fort Knox. Be seeking shelter at this time in the lowest level of your home. And just to give you some perspective as we back out the view, Alden, we're looking at this squall line moving through downtown Louisville now. We have a severe thunderstorm warning for Louisville, by the way, for another half hour. And so we already have the worst part of this squall line in Louisville that has moved now east of PRP Valley Station. And notice I mentioned earlier that our next couple scans are going to put this up towards Okolona. So that's where we have it now. Fairdale as well, right by South Park Country Club. Here we've got heavy rain along the Waterson, within the Waterson, in the Highlands, St. Matthews, Linden, up and down I-65 and downtown. Now the West End and Portland, you are now out of the threat of severe weather, thankfully, and it looks like Shively also out of the threat of severe weather, and very soon PRP and Valley Station, because we're always concerned about the leading edge. That's where it really packs a punch, and that's where you get the damaging wind threat. So we could have some pockets of some damage reports in Metro Louisville. We'll have to watch again just for some of those power outage reports and see what we get. Sometimes it's just the lightning strikes that can cause some power outages. If you want to put some of the lightning strikes on, and maybe Alden even just over the Metro, and then maybe broaden out and see the lightning strikes. So we have about 1,400 lightning strikes when we checked about a half hour ago. And look at this lightning that is coming down in this storm. We are looking also for concentration of lightning strikes. That's where the storms are stronger. So 1,650 lightning strikes over the last half hour in this entire area. So this is still a very strong line of storms with severe thunderstorm warnings, and we still have that tornado warning that continues for near Elizabethtown and areas off to the north through northern Hardin County towards Fort Knox. So that is what we'll be tracking. I would say almost all of southern Indiana is out of the threat of severe weather now. So we want to show you where the threat is. We want to show you where the not. We are now in the clear in southern Indiana as far as severe weather. Our focus is going to be now still in Metro Louisville, where we have a strong line moving through severe thunderstorm warning, but we also need to keep focus on the tornado warned area. That does still include Fort Knox, Radcliffe, Vine Grove, down to Elizabethtown. So this latest tornado warning that we have until 12:30 comes right up to Interstate 65 and downtown Elizabethtown. And right where the Bluegrass Parkway, Western Kentucky Parkway come together right there. So it's this area that we could possibly have a brief spin-up tornado. We thankfully haven't had a report of tornadoes so far, except for earlier this afternoon we had the tornado, the EF2 likely there in Madison, crossing over the Ohio River into the Milton, Kentucky area. So right now still have that tornado warning, Alden, for what goes up to central Hardin County until 12:30 this morning, but still not super organized as far as squall lines go.
No, it's really lost a lot of that kind of threatening organization that we were seeing earlier, and you can see as I kind of drag through there, as the line kind of catches up with itself, that's when we start to notice that threat begin to diminish some. So the storm is still strong. It's still packing a bit of a punch there, but we're possibly seeing this become more of a straight line wind threat. And something else to notice too is that as moving into an environment that's been worked over a little bit, as we say, which means that there were storms ahead of this main line that used up a lot of that storm fuel, and now they don't have quite as much to work with for themselves. And as we move back up here to the metro area, they've been trimming that severe thunderstorm warning fairly quickly as it continues to push through. So it's currently in the heart of the metro area at the moment. Audubon Park, Germantown, Iroquois Park, Fairdale, Okolona, Buchel, St. Matthews, Northfield, Anchorage, all seeing some of that very heavy rain falling right now. In addition to, it's about to be entering into Jeffersontown and Fern Creek. Fisherville, you've had some heavy rain as well, but otherwise, I don't have any reports of any storm damage across the metro. I don't have any reports of flooding or of any power outages either, which is very good news at the moment. But we're also still watching that tornado warning to our south, which does not look as organized as it did before, which is good, of course, but that still goes until 12:30. Hopefully they'll be able to cancel that soon. Also looking at that tornado warning that includes Fort Knox and Radcliffe, really not seeing the organization there that we had before. So I think that's going to be allowed to expire too. That goes until 12:15 a.m. and if they don't cancel it within the next couple of minutes, they'll allow that to expire. Otherwise, we have that main tornado warning there for central Harding County. That goes until 12:30. As we look at our Doppler wind speeds here, we don't really see any of that couplet, those reds and greens super close to each other in kind of a curved fashion. We don't really quite see that now as we were seeing before, but still, if you're in E-Town, I would be in your tornado safe spot as you are under that tornado warning. You're probably hearing a lot of thunder. These are very electric storms. You could be experiencing some small hail with this as well, and gusty winds. You're probably going to notice some of those gusty winds. We have had some reports of power outages from an earlier tornado warning, as Colleen Peterson was telling us. So that's something else we're going to be keeping a close eye on here as the storm continues to push eastward. But as mentioned, Ben, it doesn't appear to be quite as significant as it was before. And in fact, they just canceled a severe thunderstorm warning for Clark County, Indiana, and Harding County, Kentucky. But they are continuing that severe thunderstorm warning for Bullitt and Jefferson counties in Kentucky until until 12:30 in the morning, 12:15, excuse me.
And as Colleen was mentioning earlier, Breckenridge County, John Bettner there with the fire department and emergency management indicating about 160 customers in Meade County, RECC without power. The main power outages around Stennettsville, Highway 86 between Garfield and Custer. So it looks like it did produce maybe some minor damage so far in Breckenridge County where that line moved through. So this is where we have it now in Louisville. As we zoom in, let's go ahead and put the lightning strikes back on included with our reflectivity. Thank you, Alden. So this leading edge is heading towards Fern Creek. So if you're on the back side of this, you're not really concerned about severe winds anymore, just some leftover heavy rainfall around Germantown, Audubon Park at the airport. So the severe threat diminishing very quickly west of I-65 in Louisville. On this leading edge, just got to watch out for some isolated areas of some damaging wind gusts around J-Town, Fern Creek, Fisherville, and into the Fairmount area. So right along the Snyder here is where we have the potential of some damaging wind gusts. We've got our live camera view up showing us some of the heavy rainfall coming down too, and eventually we'll probably see some flashes of lightning strikes with that. Heavy rain down to Interstate 64 towards the Simpsonville area. So here's Fisherville as well. Anchorage getting into heavy rain, some gusty winds, and still some very heavy rainfall around St. Matthews and downtown. But it looks like west of I-65, again, looking a whole lot better. So just watching out for these eastern edges. So it's just 12:06. It has only taken about 15 minutes for this line of storms to race right over the city of Louisville. So it is going to be in and out. That threat's going to be out of Louisville very, very quickly. And then you can sleep soundly for the rest of tonight. So it looks like we have got a new severe thunderstorm warning out for a portion of our area. We have still a tornado watch that goes until 4 a.m. for a decent portion of the area as well. So this is looking from on top of the Galt House over Spaghetti Junction out towards the east where we have that main line. And there you can see those live flashes of lightning strikes here. So this is our Bachman Auto Group U of L Health camera network that we're using to see that. Expanding out the view, we can just go the whole viewing area view for a moment just to show you that all of southern Indiana is in the clear. Go to bed. We are just fine all over southern Indiana. The severe weather threat is gone. It looks like the severe weather threat is over with for Carroll County, Trimble County. It's not going to take long for this severe weather threat to move east of Louisville here over the next 10 minutes. 15 minutes or so, and also to the east of Oldham County around LaGrange. You've got some heavy rainfall. And so did you see where that latest warning came in? Alden, looks like maybe Bullitt County?
Yeah, that severe thunderstorm warning was for Bullitt, Grayson, Hardin, and Nelson County. And it looks like that's going to replace that tornado warning, which they're also, they've just stated they are going to allow to expire. I haven't seen them clear any other counties from that tornado watch, but as you were saying, after that line passes you, your threat is going to be done for the night. So, you know, if you're almost west of I-65 in southern Indiana, you don't really have anything else to worry about for tonight.
We love to just chunk off those areas of the threat. And so, yeah.
And they just canceled that tornado warning for Hardin County.
Okay, good. So we can get rid of the tornado warning. Now we have this severe thunderstorm warning that still includes Louisville, Bullitt County, down into Hardin County, and just a little portion of northeastern Grayson County. So again, even though that tornado watch is still in place for some counties in Indiana, all clear as far as severe weather for the rest of tonight. So don't worry about it there. As Alden mentioned, it's not going to take long for areas west of I-65 in Kentucky to be all clear of severe weather. This has been on a bit of a weakening trend. That's what we still want to see. We still have a lot of lightning flashes out there. I know it is loud. It's going to keep some of you awake for a little while longer until we can get this very deep red line off to the east of some very heavy rainfall and the potential for some isolated damaging wind gusts. So if you want to go basically from Newcastle through Metro Louisville down to E-Town and south, we'll just do another tour of the radar, do another track. And then hopefully, if we don't continue to get these tornado warnings, we can kind of wrap up the severe weather coverage if this just turns into a heavy rain event and maybe some gusty leftover winds. So not a warning here, but heavy rain coming down in Henry County, Newcastle, into the Eminence area. So that was very close to the timeline, the storm track that we gave you guys for Newcastle a good 45 minutes, hour ago. It looks like LaGrange, no severe weather threat for you, just some heavy rainfall, some lightning and thunder. If you want to go ahead and put those lightning strikes back on Alden, you can check that out as well. And then the leading edge heading right over the Snyder, still seeing some lightning strikes coming down near downtown and east of I-65. So Fern Creek, likely some gusty winds here. There is the potential of some, I would say, some small hail. I'm not seeing a big hail signature right now in these storms. Anywhere along this leading edge is where the potential of some isolated damaging wind gusts in excess of 60 miles per hour. That includes the Mount Washington area as we move into Bullitt County, Shepherdsville. Shepherdsville is almost in the clear as that leading edge is now heading into the Mount Washington area. So down Highway 150. Down Bardstown Road and Taylorsville Road. Watch out for this line heading your way. And then down I-65, some gusty winds likely too, included in that severe thunderstorm warning. That includes Lebanon Junction, Elizabethtown. It looks like the worst of this coming right across Elizabethtown right now with the potential of some very gusty winds in excess of 60 miles per hour, maybe some small hail too. We are still watching out for these little kinks here. Alden, notice that little notch there just to the southwest of Elizabethtown down the Western Kentucky Parkway. We're going to watch those little notches very closely. That's what, if we've had any tornado warnings late tonight, it's been because of these little notches. That indicates that you've got some rotation potential. And then the severe thunderstorm warning continues down the Western Kentucky Parkway to areas just to the northeast of Litchfield there in northeastern Grayson County. So this is mostly unorganized, severe thunderstorm activity. Very heavy rainfall, ponding of water on the roadways, blinding rain, and frequent cloud to ground lightning strikes. Look at all of these individual lightning strikes. And what we have mapped out here on Max HD radar is only the cloud to ground lightning strikes. That doesn't include all the lightning that's crawling across the clouds, the cloud to cloud lightning strikes. So all the individual lightning strikes are hitting the ground here around the Sonora area, western Hart County, just out to the west of Bonnieville. So once we can get this east of I-65, basically everywhere west of I-65 is going to be in the clear of severe weather. Have you guys seen any reports of anything else so far?
Only other report I have is from Crawford County with several poles down, telephone poles down along State Road 66.
And we're also getting some reports from Hardin County. People are starting to call in. We're going to keep updated to see if we have any information. But that was that tornado warned storm that you were tracking. But as of now, just down telephone poles.
Okay, yeah. So we're getting some. It's going to take time. It usually takes about a half hour to hour to get a report after the storm has moved through. So we'll likely get some delayed power outages, maybe some delayed tree reports, tree down reports as well. So we are seeing this leading edge moving into the Fisherville area, far eastern Jefferson County in Metro Louisville, into Mount Washington. Just stay inside until that moves through. No, it's not a tornado warning, but it is a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag included in this. So it is no longer a concern of severe weather for Shively, PRP, Valley Station, downtown to Fairdale, Okolona. Severe weather threats gone for you. Just some leftover heavy rain, some lightning and thunder. So we're seeing, I'd say, the western half of Louisville no longer worrying about severe weather. The severe weather threat is gone in Indiana, and we're going to see very soon that the severe weather threat is over with west of I-65. If we want to just show where the warning is now, Alden, and take off the radar just to kind of give us a little broader perspective. So we still have that. This is done with, by the way, right, Alden?
Yes.
The tornado warning is gone. It just takes a little bit of time for the computer to clear it out. But we have a severe thunderstorm warning for much of Metro Louisville, Bullitt County, down through Elizabethtown, and then into portions of northeastern Grayson County. And that goes until 12:45.
Yes.
Okay, 12:45. So about another half hour with the severe thunderstorm, very large severe thunderstorm warning, and you can see the hundreds of lightning strikes that we have across the viewing area. In fact, the last check was about 1,600 lightning strikes. So it is a very efficient lightning maker, this line of showers and thunderstorms that we have moving through the area here on what is now our early Friday morning here at about 12:15 a.m. Tracking the severe weather threat here for you for areas along and east of I-65 in Kentucky only. Southern Indiana, no longer a threat of severe weather. So over Metro Louisville, as we put the radar back on, just stay inside in the Shelbyville area in Shelby County. You can see the strong thunderstorm heading your direction. Might get some small hail out of this as well. And then you've got the heavy rain coming down in the Fisherville area. If you want to put on the reflectivity, just see if we see any hot spots here, see if we see any little enhancements, any indications of new severe thunderstorm warning it looks like that we have out as well.
Yeah, it looks like that one for Jefferson County expired, and then they reissued a new one for Bardstown area down to Hodgenville, and that is in effect moving east at 45 miles per hour until 12:45 at Eastern time.
Yeah, Doug.
Just to let you know, we are keeping an eye on the power outages, and also our newsroom has been talking to police departments around the area, and so far we're not getting any reports of any severe damage. The outages have really jumped up in Jefferson County to 3,774 are out, and that includes in the city. I've been seeing reports of Old Louisville and the Limerick neighborhood. And while you continue to follow the severe weather for us and the rest of the storm team here, we want to let our viewers know, if you're still with us, we are going to do our newscast as soon as Ben gives the all clear for the severe weather. We're going to bring you up to date on the tornadoes that did touch down earlier today in southern Indiana and then across the river also in Milton, Kentucky. So that coverage is coming right up. But again, Ben, right now it looks like the power outages have really jumped up in Louisville.
Yeah, no surprise there. Thank you for that update, Doug. Yeah, it takes, again, just a little while for those outage numbers to come in after the squall line moves through. So we now have the leading edge moving into Shelby County, Spencer County, and very soon moving out of Bullitt County and into Nelson County. So this new severe thunderstorm warning basically includes Taylorsville, almost all of Spencer County, Nelson County, down through LaRue County. So that includes Hodgenville, Sonora, Bardstown, Taylorsville. So now we're moving the area of concern, the potential of some damaging wind gusts, power outages from I-65 east. So I-65 west is now looking just fine as severe weather is concerned. So that threat is now basically along the Bluegrass Parkway south, still a little bit of an area to the north that includes Taylorsville as well. And so thankfully it looks like Louisville is out of the severe weather threat. Alden, no longer in that warning.
Yeah, that warning was allowed to expire, and now you're just seeing some pretty heavy rain falling over much of the eastern half of the county.
Okay, so that is awesome that we can give the all clear for all of Louisville as far as the severe weather threat. That severe thunderstorm warning has expired, as Colleen mentioned just a little bit earlier. So just some leftover very heavy rainfall in the Fisherville area. Always watching the leading edge of these storms, and that's where we could have the potential of some isolated damaging wind gusts. Pretty rough ride. It's going to be through Shelby County, down Interstate 64 and down Highway 60 here from Simpsonville to Shelbyville, and then off to the south as we move into Taylor County, Taylorsville Lake area. Heads up, you've got some gusty winds, heavy rainfall, and frequent lightning strikes heading your direction. And then down Highway 50, down through Cox's Creek, Bardstown, you're going to have some of this heavy rainfall as well, along with the gusty and potentially damaging wind gusts as well. So it looks like I-65 is where we have the storms right on top of it, or just to the east. Areas to the west are just fine. If we look a little bit farther off to the west and expand out, Alden, into, I want to give you the all clear now, western Hardin County, west of Elizabethtown, we're fine. Don't worry about the severe weather any longer tonight here in Meade or Breckenridge County. You guys just had that tornado warning move through. It's in the clear, no longer a severe weather threat in your area. Just heavy rainfall, lightning and thunder in Litchfield and Grayson County. Looks like the severe weather threat, if there is one, is starting to move to the east of I-65. That does include LaRue County. That's why you guys have that severe thunderstorm warning. And I'm betting that goes until 1 a.m., that new one?
That new severe thunderstorm for Bardstown, that's until 12:45.
Okay, 12:45, not quite that long. So it will not take all that long to get the entire severe weather threat out of our viewing area and moving into the Lexington market. But by that time, hopefully it will continue to be on a weakening trend. As we go minute by minute, hour by hour, we start to lose the heating, and the energy for the storms. So we're not seeing the tornado warnings like we had earlier, and we have some severe thunderstorm warnings. It's not looking quite as organized. Our temperature went from 74 down to 60. So we definitely zapped all the energy, and no longer a severe weather threat in Louisville. And I want to mention again, no severe weather threat up I-71. That includes Oldham County, Trimble County, Carroll County, and Henry County. No severe weather threat any longer for you guys. No severe weather threat throughout the entire southern Indiana area. And so we are just watching these areas basically from Shelby County. Although you don't have a warning, that is still a strong thunderstorm moving through Shelby County. But the severe thunderstorm warning begins in Spencer County, goes through Taylorsville, down through Nelson County into LaRue County. So this is the area that we need to watch out for the potential of some damaging wind gusts. But thankfully, guys, Alden, is there a tag for the tornado potential on that severe thunderstorm warning?
No, just for 60-mile-per-hour winds.
Okay, so it looks like we can start to get in the mode of wrapping up the continuous severe weather coverage and begin the 11 o'clock newscast if everybody's ready to do so.
Massive hail and strong storms damaging parts of Kentuckiana.
Wow. Wow.
Figured it wasn't going to be nothing, but looks like it turned out to be more.
Right over top of us.
Yeah, he's right. It's right there.
It was a nightmare.
Sky 11 drone video showing you the damage left behind by a tornado that touched down in Milton, Kentucky.
Went out to take a look and saw the immediate damage, and you can't believe you're 100 feet from it.
Right now, the WHAS-11 night team is there as residents start scrambling to clean up after a damaging hit by March tornadoes.
And right now, as we are still with you, let's take a live look in downtown Louisville. It is now 12:21 on this Friday morning as a severe thunderstorm has just moved out of the Louisville area. Many of you have been communicating with us, telling us in your part of the county you've had monsoon rains, a lot of lightning, and the power outages are just shy of 4,000 for Metro Louisville at this moment. We're showing you the current conditions in downtown Louisville, again, as the big storm has now moved out of the metro area. And the big stories here coming your way tonight, the tornadoes that touched down in Hanover, Indiana and Milton, Kentucky to our northeast earlier this afternoon. Here's what we know about those big storms at this hour. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear confirming today there were at least a couple of minor injuries due to the storms that moved through Gallatin and Trimble counties. The governor adding no one is believed to be missing and there are no fatalities. Good news there. Meantime, the Jefferson County Emergency Management Agency, that's Jefferson County, Indiana, by the way, that's the Madison, Indiana area, confirmed there was at least one injury there in Jefferson County, Indiana. Once again, we're dealing with some large power outages here in Metro Louisville as we are taking a look at the live LG&E power outage map for you at the moment. Here in Metro Louisville, the number stands just below the 4,000 mark. Breckenridge is at 163 power outages. Nelson County at about 500 customers at the moment. But the most are in Trimble County, seen right here from the Sky 11 drone. That small town is across the river, from Ohio River from Madison. The National Weather Service confirming an EF2 tornado touching down in Milton. Many places in that small town left heavily damaged. And we thank you for staying up so late with us tonight. Hello again, everyone. Good to be with you. I'm Doug Proffitt. The night team's been covering Indiana and Kentucky. WHAS 11 night team's Taylor Woods and photojournalist Aspen Hester spent several hours in Milton, Kentucky as the community pitches in to help each other. The storm, right now they have more on the storm.
Just after 2 o'clock, a tornado ripped through downtown Milton, Kentucky. Roofs were blown off most businesses and many homes in the small Ohio River town.
Oh, crap. It was a nightmare.
Severe damage everywhere, leaving the entire county without power. Residents like Ralph Gaines immediately took shelter, comparing the loud noise to a freight train.
It came over that hill like a ball of thunder. And I ran back inside, told my brother, hold on. And he goes, for what? This. All of a sudden the roof went whoosh.
Down power lines and debris are now scattered through yards, including broken glass from car windshields that were damaged.
The girls were out here looking at their cars and they thought, man, insurance is going to have a field day.
Residents like Gaines are now left with nowhere to stay, but are welcome to stay at the General Butler State Park. Emergency management says there were only 2 minor injuries and between 50 to 100 homes were damaged.
Probably 20 to 30 that have severe to destroyed.
You can see where the roof has completely been blown away at Jazz and Jack's Pizza Shop. If you come with me this way and you take a walk, you can see just where this gutter right here is hanging by a limb. That's how significant the tornado damage was.
Well, I was kind of surprised. I didn't think it was going to be much. Not really one for much drama. Figured it wasn't going to be nothing, but it looks like it turned out to be more.
Justin McCoy is the owner of Jazz and Jack's Pizza Shack. He's overwhelmed by the outpouring of support as community members come together to clean up.
Oh, we've already had tons of people reach out and try to help. My phone's been blowing up. Everyone's trying to jump in and help out. And the community is a great community. The fire chief.
Volunteers from the Red Cross and first responders from Carroll and Oldham County have been assisting nonstop.
I don't want to relive this. This was bad. Now I know what those people down there in Mayfield, Kentucky went through.
In Milton, Kentucky, Taylor Woods, WHAS 11 night team on your side.
Now, as our coverage continues, take a look at this amazing video, folks. Milton, Kentucky and Madison are connected by a bridge over the Ohio River. This recording shows that tornado passing by that bridge and over the Ohio River as the storm worked its way from southern Indiana and Kentucky. Now, here it is as we spotlight it, almost slamming into a barge on the river. And take a look closely. You can see some of that water being pulled up by the tornado, turning it into a little water spout as we highlight it for you as the tornado travels from one side of the Ohio river to the other. Just amazing video there tonight. Now to southern Indiana. People in Hanover and Madison, Indiana took cover as the tornado came out of the sky. WHAS 1119's Connor Steffen and photojournalist Addie Hill have been in Trimble County. They found that the tornado that tried to blow them all apart is bringing people together.
In a disheveled Hanover, Indiana.
It was shock and worry.
Neighbors reflect on a fleeting storm they never saw coming.
I never ever thought in 100 years it would have happened again.
You don't have to travel far in this neighborhood to see the damage.
You can't believe you're 100 feet from it, you know?
Here's 85-year-old Bill Wagner covered in debris.
And it was blowing unbelievable.
Recounting the moment the tornado crossed paths with his house.
Yeah, I couldn't see, had to dig my way out of it because there's 2 feet of it in there. And it was all over, 10 seconds.
A 10-second storm, leaving thousands worth in repairs to his now dilapidated home.
It's gone, there's nothing left. The back wall is gone, the roof's off the garage in my workshop.
In this Hanover, Indiana neighborhood where about 12 to 15 houses have been affected, you may see no more greater damage than to this house right here, from the debris on the ground all the way up to the roof torn off of this garage.
I was watching the storm and I saw it hit in another subdivision over there. I knew it was coming this way. We just ran to the middle of the house into the utility room, and about 30 seconds later it hit and you see the damage.
This is what's left of Gail and Brenda Leiter's home.
People say it sounds like a train. Yeah, it was loud.
The couple says they just moved in about 3 months ago.
Yeah, and I said, we hadn't met very many of the neighbors till today.
Because just as fast as the storm passed, complete strangers came out offering whatever goods and services they could to a hard-hit area.
And then when I was driving through here, I seen that it was really, really bad, really destruction. So I called my store manager. He said we need to do something, and we jumped to it.
Neighbors performing thankless acts, dropping off more than 60 cases of water and 56 boxes of trash bags.
To do our part for the community. These people shop at Lowe's, so the more we can do for them, the more they're going to give back to us.
Volunteerism is the heart of this town and the county, and it's important for everyone to take responsibility for their neighborhood.
As the storm moves out, leaving destruction in its path, neighbors spring into action. In Hanover, Indiana, Connor Steffen, WHAS 11, on your side. They're good working quick.
And it certainly seemed that every example of severe weather came out of the sky in this storm. The hail was not only amazing, but listen to it. The afternoon storm is bringing not only heavy wind and the tornadoes, but also this hail. Check out the scene in Vivi, Indiana. So much large hail, it looks like a snowstorm hit in March. Vivi is about an hour and a half, 15 minutes to the northeast of downtown Louisville. Now's a good time to download the free WHAS 11 app. During weather emergencies, you can follow us live and look at our Max HD radar, and then watch our newscast during power outages. Also, don't forget to turn on your notifications. Now, meteorologist Colleen Peterson is here now to give us another live update, picking up our coverage on the severe thunderstorms we saw tonight. Colleen?
Doug, it's definitely transitioned to more of a wind event than a tornado event. We don't have any current tornado warnings in effect, but we do have 2 severe thunderstorm warnings that are in effect mainly south of Louisville. So this started around 10 p.m., then crossed the metro. Let's go ahead and zoom in to Jefferson County. You guys can go to sleep. Your threat of severe weather has come to the end, as well as southern Indiana. I think the only areas that we are watching are areas from Bardstown to Taylor County, and then eventually it will make its way over to Springfield and Marion County. Also, a second severe thunderstorm warning is in effect. That is midnight Central Time, so 1 o'clock Eastern Time, where we're seeing some hail and wind. We're not seeing any areas of rotation along this line. In fact, I think the environment is starting to break apart, but however, some strong wind gusts are still fairly possible. So this severe thunderstorm warning currently situated over the Bardstown community. We have some heavy rain, and putting a track on it, it'll be heading to Springfield in about 12:37 a.m. Eastern Time. So it's a slow-moving storm now, starting to break apart. Again, we are not really seeing any areas of rotation, and looking at this storm relative velocity, we're not seeing any kinks that we were showing earlier. So this does just look like straight line wind and also some hail out there. Also, don't want to take into account Munfordville, the communities off farther to the south and heading towards Greensburg. You are seeing some heavy rain and potentially some hail out there. Putting on that hail tracker, not really picking it up just yet. yet, but it is a possibility. So off to the east in Shelby County right now, you are not under a current warning, but you are seeing that heavy rain. Going to end on this wide view, we're going to continue to track these storms. If we happen to see any kind of rotation or anything that looks to be dangerous, we'll make sure to keep you updated with that and break in. Doug?
Okay, Colleen, thank you on this stormy night. Coming up next, Ken Spencer's along. He's going to bring us the sports report for the evening.
Lace up your shoes as we walk towards a future of hope, support, and awareness. Join WHAS 11 Saturday, April 6th at the Walk to End Parkinson's. To register and to learn more, visit nationalparkinsonsinstitute.com.
Pull up a cushion and chill out.
Kimmel's worth the wait.
I gotta see Jimmy tonight.
So stay up late.
You do this for a living. Do you want to be funny all day?
Yes.
Okay.
Late night's #1 show, Jimmy Kimmel Live, weeknights on ABC.
WHAS 11 News is sponsored